There are so many Christmas movies, like a lot. From the Home Alones, from the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, from the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, from many specials, from many movies, and all of them get a lot of praise. And since Christmas is coming, and since it is the month of December, there's a lot of Christmas buzz coming out lately. And as every year, I watch a lot of Christmas movies. Home Alone, The Grinch, some cartoon specials. I watch them all. And I was actually thinking about reviewing Home Alone. But then I was thinking, there are so many Home Alone reviews, and really, what would I could add? Eventually, I probably will review that movie, but there just is so many Home Alone reviews, it's getting tiring. I looked at a good old film, but there's one film that not a lot of people know is even a Christmas movie, and that is It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life is one of the most disbeloved Christmas movies, and when I looked up reviews for It's a Wonderful Life, there was like maybe two. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite Christmas movies and one of the best movies of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. And of course, if you have not seen the movie, I definitely recommend it. It's a great Christmas movie, but this review will contain spoilers for the film. You've been warned. Something that I think people will stay away and why they don't watch this movie is for two reasons. Number one, it's a very old movie. It came out in the year 1946. And that's really old. Some people, it's awesome. And the second thing, and this is the thing, it's in black and white. Not a lot of people watch black and white movies, me included. So that's another reason why people look at this movie and say, oh, it's in black and white. But this is one of my favorite Christmas movies, and let's talk about it in depth. So something that this film does amazingly well is set up our main lead. Now, this movie is not boring. There's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of kind of business stuff, and there is a deeper meaning story, but this is a very fun movie. Probably because in the opening thing we get a bell ring, then we go up to space and we see these stars, and we learn our main premise is that there's an angel that doesn't really have his ring to watch over our main lead. And I can just talk about this is such a fun, goofy scene. It's a very simple scene. They easily could have just show people talking in a room and show. But no, this was a very creative choice, and especially for the year 1946, where movies were turning in from silent to sound, this was a very bold choice by this movie. And I love this dialogue. It's a very fun, very intense scene, and we learn more about our main character. And of course, we learn about it as one of the angels need to get his wings because he's an angel in training. This is what I love about this movie so much. It's really creative. Yes, this story isn't the most simplest, and it's not the best. But at the time, I don't think we really saw a movie like this. It's really original. And when we learned one of the narrators, and it's because of instead of just telling the audience and showing us, which could have worked too, and we go through his life as we go. We did the angel, one of something called Joseph tells the angel all about our main lead. So we made our main lead in this movie, which I gotta say, this movie goes through his life perfectly, from a kid to like a teen, to like a young adult, to a full adult, him married. We go into his life in 2 hours and 10 minutes of perfect film. So we learned that he slid down and his brother fell into ice, and that's what we learned why he can't hear out of one ear. And that's what I love. This first 2 minutes maybe of this opening, we're already learning so much about this character and just so much. And what I love about this movie is we also learn more. He actually has a job with a boss that literally almost poisoned himself. It's a very tough and emotional scene. And this kid gives a fantastic performances in this movie, even though he's only in this movie for like a couple seconds. The scene where his boss keeps hitting him, this performance is incredible. And then when his boss comes in, also we learn kind of that his boss, even though we don't see him much in this film after this opening act, we learn that the boss has we learn that there's a connection there, and there's of course two girls that really enjoy this person. So now we jump back into where he's, I guess, an adult, and also we get a scene when he's still a kid. Now we get Mr. Tarkin. Now this movie is mostly about taxing government. We meet our main lead's dad. Now in this film, there's a lot of stuff that people could say, hey, how is this a Christmas movie? And what people get confused is, it's not really a Christmas movie until like, I would say 45 minutes to an hour. It doesn't start, it's it's Christmas time. It is still winter, so I guess you could probably say, but they don't say it's Christmas until maybe like an hour into this movie. But you're interested in the story. This movie has a lot of just tiring dialogue, and when I first saw this movie, I didn't think I would like it. But the dialogue is so interesting, and this movie is shot beautifully. This is a great cinematography shot, perfectly movie. It is so great. There's so many great learning shots just kind of built on and on top of each other with this movie. And that's why it makes such a great movie. It's not just a great movie. It's not just a great Christmas movie. It's because this movie is so timeless, and the cinematography just builds and builds. There's a lot of just one take, one shot, kind of tripod shots that could have got pretty stale. But since this is a low, simply put story, and that's what I love so much about It's a Wonderful Life. It's a simple premise. And it's a very calm, very intense. This movie is anxious. Even though there's no action, there's no explosions, there's no anything, and yes, I can say I'm more of a superhero guy, so I didn't think I would even love this film. There was so much stakes that was going on in this movie. The banks sometimes run out of money, and this guy gets mad at so many people. Like this scene where he's dancing with this girl at this ball, and then after thing, he just goes. There's a scene where he comes to this girl, his wife's house, and he ends up marrying, and he just freaks out, and then they just start kissing, and then they get married. Something about great shots. Is there a shot where it's raining down, and they go into their honeymoon, and they look at the back of the car, and the camera just stays in the forefront of it. It doesn't take away to the rights of people heading out the backside of their banks. It stays perfectly good. The performances are fantastic in this movie. This is the best performance-wise in any Christmas movie. Because this Christmas movie, has a story it wants to tell, but it's not over-the-top Christmas. I love me some Home Alone, but it's really just kind of with Christmas song after Christmas song, Christmas reference, and this movie is very subtle. In the opening credits, we see a couple of trees on the play, and that's about it. We see some Christmas trees, some Christmas. We don't get into really a Christmas song until in film when everyone's at his house giving him money. This is not an overblown, hey, we're a Christmas movie. And that's what I love so much about this film, because it's not an overshadowed, hey, we're a Christmas movie, you're supposed to like us because, yay, we're a Christmas movie. It has tension, and it has built stuff, and it just kind of moves on and adds stuff to this movie. Another thing I can say that this film does more than anything, it tells his life story without making it seem boring. This movie, this guy gets everything that's happened to his life. His brother almost drowned. He can't hear in one ear. And there's a great scene about this where one of his friends, when his father dies, and there's a great scene where he's eating with his dad, and his dad's asks, "Oh, I'm not going to be afraid. Will you take up the office?" And he has to tell his father, "No." That would be such a hard thing to tell your dad. Hey, no, I want to go exploring. I want to go adventuring. I want to do what I want to do. He even tells his wife doing that. Hey, I don't want to get married. I don't want anyone holding me back. I want to do what I want to do. So when his dad dies, and if he does not take on the bank, it'll go to some bad people, and he ends up taking the spotlight, so to speak, and he takes out the bank where his brother goes to college because he gave his money that he saved up for his brother to go to college. So then for 4 years, we get a 4-year jump to when he's on the train. 4 years jump. So see, this could have been something easily. This movie jumps times perfectly. It makes the stuff that kind of opens characters and it shows those, but stuff like 4 years, we didn't need a montage or anything like that. Movies like today would just give you a montage. We just get a cut. We can imagine things in our head and say, oh, this is probably what this would happen, and it just kind of builds on stuff. So when his brother gets there and he thinks that he's had a wife, and his wife's dad or something gives him an opportunity for a job, and when his brother can't take up the bank, he's like, oh, we gotta do something. We have to do something. So then he just breaks his dreams, just like when his and his girlfriend finally get married, and there's an epic scene where they like, oh, where are we gonna go? And he's saying all these places, but when the bank is out of money and he has to go in there and he has to give his little money in banks, and when his wife actually gives up the money to them, and he kind of just he doesn't pause for a full minute. He pauses for like a second, and I can just imagine what he's thinking just for a second. He's like, that money was for us, but I'm just going to give it over. And he gives all the people, and when everyone's asking, what do you need? $240. He's like, okay, what do you need? I can get by with 20. But my favorite part of this scene is where he asks this old lady, what do you need? What do you need? She says, can I have $17.50? He grabs her and he kisses her on the cheeks and he sends her off. This movie has great moments like that. They eventually, after there's a scene where when they're younger, after they fall in a pool, which is a very fun scene, they're drying off, and they throw rocks at this house, and she's like, what'd you wish for? And later on in the scene, she's like, this is what I wish for. And they end up moving, when they get married, into this house. They end up having kids. And this movie, the narrator doesn't move on into some simple points. One good scene where I can see this man would really disrespect is when I guess the villain of the film tells him, I'll give you $2,000 and something dollars for a year if you do this, because he ends up opening a parkway with tons of houses, and he just thinks about it. He's smoking a cigar. He's freaking out, and I've always loved this scene. He shakes his hand, and he feels. And then he's like, I don't need to think about it, because he was going to think about it for 24 hours with his wife. He's like, I don't need to think about the answers. No. And then he gets mad. And then later into the movie, close to the end, where he actually needs the money, he goes back to him, and the guy just says, I gave you a shot. You blew it. I'm not saying I'm bad on him, but there's a lot of comebacks into this movie that's just kind of building off certain stuff, and it just kind of widens it out the playing field. Also, I see where great character is when this guy loses all this money, and he just really freaks out, and this guy cries. And then, of course, I guess we gotta talk about in my opinion, the best scene in the movie is where he's over a bridge and he's gonna commit suicide until the angel saves him, and he's like, I wish I would never be born, and then the angel grants his wish. And this is just a very funny scene, because he's being funny. He's like, oh, who are you? I'm an angel in training. I need my I need my wings. Come on, you can give me my wings. You can give me my parent. And so then he wishes everything is born and everything is gone. The city has turned. And my favorite scene in the entire movie is where they go into the cemetery that was the parkway with all these houses, and he goes to the jail, and his little brother. This is 1911 to 1919. Died at 9 years old because he wasn't there to save his brother from drowning. And then, of course, there's so many funny scenes, and this is just such an intense scene where everyone, his mom doesn't even recognize him. Everything just kind of moves on. In the bank, everything. The house that they used to live in was nothing. And then, of course, he wishes he was back alive, and then he's just all happy. He waves to everyone. It is such a great scene because we've seen him kind of falling apart from film. We saw him this happy in the beginning, and then later on in the film, he was just kind of pouring down, and now he's waving. He sees his kids, and then when he was in dead, the guy just literally rips it off. And I love this scene where they just all go in money, all the kids happy, and they all sing. And then the angel, when the bell rings, because when bells ring, the angel gets his wings. This is a fantastically made movie. I love this movie. It's probably my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Definitely check out this movie. And I'm gonna, of course, give It's a Wonderful Life an A+. It is a fantastic movie. Definitely, and I mean that definitely check out this movie if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching this review in this video, and I'll see all you lovely folks in the next